So today we'll be working on begin this whole journey where we actually are create a game that I have in mind for this whole entire process to start. I'm actually looking to see how far I can get with this. Okay, so we got 4 questions we have to answer. Is there any other questions that we would need to kind of think about? Okay, so I think we got plenty of questions right now. Plenty of questions, and then we can go ahead and answer them. So, what kind of games do you want to make? I think the kind of game I really want to make at this point is a 2D side scroller shooter. 2D side scroller shooter. Side scroller shooter. Let's just start with that. And it's okay if you don't have a completely fleshed out an idea at this point. You know, ideas will come as they will, right? And you always want to will make modifications. It's an iterative process, right? But right now we're just brainstorming, trying to get things on paper, make it concrete. So who's this for? I mean, I could say it's like for people who like 2D side scrollers, but that's that's obvious, right? So my thought is, well, this is for I think folks who love 2D games, people who like 2D games, but I wanted to also make it challenging and more narratively engaging, because we see a lot of 2D side scrollers. I've seen 2D side scrollers. Folks who are probably older than me have played it in the arcades. It's more of a top-down version. We all seen a lot of 2D games, especially if you check out itch.io. Yeah, there's just a lot of 2D games that are out there, and the question becomes is like, well, what makes it more fun, more engaging, right? More immersive. So one is that you can make the game challenging, right? Putting new features in there, or they'll also be natively engaging, allowing the player to be emotionally invested to the characters that you have in the game. So this is kind of like the 3 critical aspects that I really want to make sure, who I'm building this for. I mean, obviously not just building for myself, right? So, all right, next question. Oops. So how would you proceed on to making this game? Okay. So this game, my first initial right now is to using Godot. That's what I'm most proficient in. I have used Unity before, but I like to prefer going open source at this point, especially after the whole Unity fiasco. But I don't have the business builds, but this is what I know most right now, and it's okay if this is something that just building off your strengths that you have. If you have done game jams and using other languages, Unity, Unreal, it's okay, go with it, because right now I think the first stage we want to do is, as we're brainstorming, we want to be able to prototype it. And I'll get into why fast prototyping is important, but I'll be going about that in a little bit. So where are you going to post this game at? I think I'm going to post this game at itch.io. itch.io. That's what I know. But if you guys know anybody anywhere else that posts demos and whatnot, I think Steam does, but you might have to pay developers fee. I just got to figure that one out. But itch.io seems to be kind of where you can just put your game online, and folks can play it for free. That being said, think probably want to make this web HTML friendly. Yeah, I think it removes one barrier. There's just the security aspect of just having folks play a game, but they have to download the game onto the machine, and they want an extra step, but I think it's a security step. It just makes people feel a little nervous of downloading random games that people just don't know how bad it could be. So I think making it HTML web friendly is probably the way to go. So on itch.io, why are you making this kind of game? You know what? Let's answer this. I know we answered number 2, that we're making this game, for the audience. I want to make this game. I want to make this game to see it, to go through the entire process. Entire process, right? Get validations, get support, and really, my overall hope and goal is Steam. Something on Steam that people can enjoy, love, and feel like this is really a good game, right? And also for me to, the profits. I don't imagine myself seeing much money, but other people may say otherwise. I want to just be able to develop my skills, show others that they can do it as well. Yeah. So doing this is actually great. Oh, okay. So yeah, what is your goal for this game? Well, we don't really need that anymore, because you answered why you're making this kind of game. What are your goals, right? And what do you hope to see? Yeah, I guess you don't need that. What do you need? Okay. So with games, right? It's not like the back in the 1970s or 1980s, maybe in the 90s, where we could just do text-based and draw things on not drawing things on the computer. Now this is bit of a standard, right? Excuse me. There's a bit of standard of like, hey, it needs to be attractive, right? It needs to be I don't say be sexy, but sex does sell, right? So that being said, art is important, right? So art, I want the sprite, but I've seen a lot of like sprite version games that's okay, but it's not, it doesn't give me that satisfaction. Like, that art is good. It's probably going to be focusing on mechanics, but if the design is really well good, right? It's going to naturally draw people in. And since I'm kind of a bit of a solo dev, artist, designer, right? And I don't have any both. I guess I have a little bit of dilemma. I'm trying to figure this out. So you know what? Sprite, maybe. Obviously we need the Godot game engine. And sound. Okay, this is one I really don't know. I'm gonna think about it. Think about how's this gonna work out. So I'm just gonna think about it at this point. Yeah, again, it's okay. Just leave some of these things. Some of these things kind of. Some of these things kind of as a placeholder, right? Because part of this as our job right now is to go ahead and try to figure out what kind of sprites, right? I'm thinking about like the game like Super Metroid kind of sprites. That'll be very nice, but would that take up a lot of time, right? And that goes into thinking about and also sound too as well. Well, a theme kind of unites the whole vision under one aspect. Mechanics, at least what I believe in is that it unites the art, the mechanics, and the sound together, so that they work in concert with one another. So, you know what? At this point, I am not sure. That's right. TBD. Okay. So we're right here right now. So we kind of got our basics of things that we need. And you probably use the feedback from folks about to talk about the art. In a way, it's like a science experiment, right? You set up these conditions, and you have, well, in this case, real folks to kind of test out, get a feel of the game, and give you feedback. Where we can go next is really just diving into, what is the game design, right? So, with that being said, let's dive right here, and I'm going to use this free tool called Draw.io. Now, I've used this for work to really diagram out, get a mapping process. Now, for me, I'm a type of visual person, so I like to see where my thoughts, my ideas are going, the game mechanics, right? So the idea, I should put this 2D side scroller shooter. Besides go shooter game, we are going to focus on mechanics. Right. So what do you need for a 2D side scroller shooter game? So what do you need? I'm gonna put this wish list. Or you know what? Here, better. Nice to have. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna do another box. Actually, maybe I can also translate this all over to the main big picture drawing. So you definitely need the player, right? You need these things. You probably also need a kind of like shooting capabilities, right? What kind of shooting capabilities that you need? Firing missiles, shooting lasers, shooting bullets, that type of thing. I also do think, player needs to see what to do this. We probably we probably need some sort of live system, right? HP live health point system. And and the reason why we need that kind of thing is, well, I mean, you could go with I don't know, so a roguelike or single life type of gameplay, but that might be a bit too hard for especially for new players, right? I mean, it's gonna only appeal to hardcore. So I guess range is probably gonna be, who's this for? Broad, and not narrow. Put that in there. So I mean, I could put lives, but I think what would be a very more interesting is has some sort of like HP kind of a mechanic, health points kind of mechanic, right? I mean, you have a lot of you have a lot of games, the older games where especially in the arcade, right? You have just X amount of lives, and then you gotta, once you use up all those lives, like Mario, they use them all, and then you gotta place your coins back in to play in the arcade, or you start start that level. But I think because for lives, right? The thing about lives is that it's a touch contact, right? Somebody fires a bullet at you, you take damage and you blow up and you die. It's very simplified, but it's not necessarily, I would say, very engaging, right? It's not necessarily an engaging mechanic, right? So if we have more options with HP, you can do things like, hey, you can do things like HP health points with the ship, right? It takes damage, but you don't necessarily lose out the fight. Or you also have a shield too as well, a shield for your ships, right? Just like Star Wars or any of those space fighter shooter games, you get those kind of different mechanics. And I think with a little bit more mechanics, we can then also come up with something a little more interesting, more challenging and fun aspect. So, right, because it opens up. You kind of sometimes want to do is you want to figure out, like, at least for me, figure out how to make things interesting, right? It ain't asteroids anymore. It ain't games now. People want something different, want something new, something more refreshing, because a lot of folks now play games, right? So, because they do play a lot of games, and I thought that I was quite the gamer back in my day, but people now play tons and tons of games. So I guess we could form some sort of expectation, right? Expectation. I guess I could write this down. People will be so some standard and interesting thing must I guess I don't know what to say, but must happen, must be applied. Right. So people have been playing games, so some interesting things you must have. So I'm gonna do this. I'm going to write health points HP mechanic. Health points mechanic. shooting bars. What else? What else do we exactly need for this game, right? Take that. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're talking about so I guess we were a little bit off tangent, and that's okay. I think right now, from a mechanic standpoint, probably we don't need that. We can redraw this out, make it more aligned. Say, hey, this is nice to have. Here, I'm probably going to redo this a little bit. So, gameplay. I'm gonna tie this up. I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna move this over here. So we need shooting mechanics. And this one, obviously, a UI. So UI is going to be including. So what is UI, right? UI is called user interface. How the user is going to interact with the game, right? The player interaction with the game. So you'll be controlling, in this case, you'll be controlling a fighter jet, plane, spaceship, and you're going to be fighting, shooting bullets against the bosses and enemies, right? So that's what user interface. There's also the other aspect of user interface with menus as well. So just like, if you go and buy, I guess you can say buy the, what do you call it? Interacting with shops with the main menu, pause menu, right? You're gonna need all that kind of stuff. So the UI, I think we're gonna put here. Also do here the pause. Pause menu. Now, what's going to make this? If I move this, right? As you probably can see, it's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, this. Late night. This is getting to be quite a lot of stuff going on, right? You might feel a bit overwhelmed, right? If you do, don't worry. Just focusing in on coming up, brainstorming about what stuff that you need, right? You need. Imagine it's like this situation where you have you want to build a house, or build a car. Right? You want to build a car, and you need, how you're gonna build a car, right? So you need to figure out, okay, what does the car need to run? What does the, what are the functionalities the car has? How many seats the car has, right? That's the same way of thinking of where you're building a game, right? You need to kind of figure out what, in this point, what are the minimum things that I absolutely need to have. And and don't worry, you don't have to you don't have to come up with the perfect plan at all. Like I said before, this is an iterative process, meaning that you're always going to be revising. You're always going to be, adding more things or removing certain things, right? But this is for me, this is kind of where a way to kind of get a good solid footing. What is it I need to have? It also, for me, organizes the way I would proceed on into designing eventually a system, okay? A system that would that's doing what it's been intending to. So I mean, we're putting features out that are attempting to go ahead and, in this case, right, challenging and fun, challenging, difficult, and fun, narratively engaging, right? So, and people who like 2D games, hoping for broad but not narrow group of folks, like hardcore, one life, roguelite, type of game. And then for me, it's just because it's also easier, since there's a lot of tutorials out there that have done 2D side-scroller shooter type of games already. But what the interesting aspect of this is that we're adding a couple more feature mechanics that's going to make it more challenging. Okay, so getting back to this, okay, so we need a pause menu, we have the UI, and what else? Health HP mechanics, shooting capabilities, right? Yeah. Let me think. Really? Yeah. So really, shooting capabilities, right? Mechanics, shooting capabilities. Let's see, gameplay. Nope. We need also, I guess, I'm just gonna say, characters, right? Because we're gonna need characters. So obviously we're gonna need enemies, bosses, bosses, right? Obviously, you're gonna need enemy bosses, right? Otherwise, how are you gonna be? It's not a game, right? I haven't, not quite exactly. I mean, I haven't played. I played Undertales, but when I saw other folks play Undertales, like how they would define an enemy is, it's interesting mechanic. But that's another day. I think we're also probably going to need. And I'm going to write down here. Same thing. Nice to have. Allies. Right? We're gonna try to create you're gonna have. You can actually have a solo protagonist who's not an ally. Doesn't have any allies. And you can just have to fight your way through. But I guess for me, probably some sort of narratively engaging could be something a little bit more different. So, oh, excuse me. All right. Mechanics. So right now I'm thinking about what kind of mechanics and with characters. So in order for something to be narratively engaging, you need to have the communication, some sort of dialogue going on, right? So I am really wondering, perhaps not just mechanics for just health point system, right? Health point system that interacts with the shooting aspect. But at the same time, health points the shooting aspect. But maybe we also need to have but maybe also let's put this under here under nice to have a dialogue system. What is it that we're going to do? I think this we're gonna do something obvious. Art. Okay, and when we say art, there we go. Sorry, I just have cap lock on. When I'm going to do art, I'm actually thinking about obviously we need your background. Background scene, right? We also need background scene. What else? I guess we need art for textures. Textures. So, kind of at this point, I think what we definitely need is a parallax. Let's see. And that will include. I'll probably do it this way. That's going to maybe include your background, right? So a parallax is the effect where you, at least it adds some depth. So my understanding is that it adds some depth to how the background moves in accordance with the player, and so the background is moving. You gotta get that depth, feel, perception. You know what? Let's go ahead and really take a look. Parallax. Alright. The effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from a different position. give you a simple definition. The apparent displacement or the difference in apparent direction of an object as seen from two different points, not on a straight line with the object, right? Things that are closer to you, right? It's going to move at a faster pace than the things in the back. And the further back it is, the slower it gets. Okay, so in our game, it creates depth, right? So we're gonna have a parallax effect in our game, right? And that's gonna include background and background assets, right? Okay. So let's take a look here. So you need art. Ooh, okay. Characters. Nice to have. Allies. I think we definitely will be forgetting is sound. Right. So background BGM. It's called background music. Definitely need that. But also we're gonna need shut this out. Oop. Oh man. Alright. So we definitely need background music, right? Game without background music, it needs background music because the background music is standard. You just need it, right? To kind of get inside immerse yourself, right? Your 5 different senses, right? Sight, hearing, tasting, touch, and there is one more. 5 senses. Oh, smell, sight, touch, taste, hear. Smell, sight, touch, taste. Wait, smell, sight, touch, taste, hear. Right? You want to engage in the human 5 senses. Right? And so that's why we definitely need to engage with the sound effects. Right? Shooting, for those of you who play different games, right? If you press a certain button, right, or you click on certain things and you don't hear any sound, what are you going to think? You're going to think of, wait a minute, am I doing something wrong? No, you're not. And this is what I think it's called a feedback, right? User-player feedback. You need to also create a good sort of feedback so that users will understand what that means, right? So, example, in the 2D side-scroll shooter, if you actually are getting hit by an enemy bullet or enemy beam, projectile, or whatnot environment, you're going to feel that certain effect, right? Whether your screen shaking visually, visual cues, or audio cues, or both, right? You're going to know it's like, oh, I took damage. So we're definitely going to need some SFX, and at this point, we're not going to necessarily need to dive in too deep, right? What I don't want to do is that I don't want to go ahead and create so much, planning all the stuff out, completely to a T, because that's going to bog down a lot of time. I'm going to start to then think, oh, do I need this? And how, relationship with this? And, you don't want to get to a state called paralysis by analysis, right? It's good to analyze things, but you know, if you analyze things too much, you're going to be paralyzed. You know, you can't make a choice, you can't make a decision, right? So I don't want to get to that stage. So here, right, we came from just a simple background idea, and we come up here and we kind of start to list out what, you know, components, what things that we would need for a game. And for those of you who are not, you know, working with the systems and designs, but think of it like this way, right? You go to a bank, right? Well, why do you go to a bank? Or why do you go online, right? And you know, use your bank online, right? So in a way, it is a system. Right? You as a customer, right? You as the user, you need to use a password, you know, do your authentication, and you interact with it, right? With games, you know, there is a system in which you interact. Looks like from this, there's going to be three core aspects: game, sound, and gameplay. I've set up Godot. Okay, so just to let you know, let you guys folks know, Godot is it's you know, you see it, a lot of it's done for 2D, and I'm going to, you know, just go ahead and get started with the list of things. You know, focus on the core gameplay, the UIs. I think these two are going to probably be my top priority. Here, give me 1 second, let me... It'd be kind of cool. Okay, anyhow. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. With so here I have a current empty scene, and and before I go on and talk more about this, I assume for you that folks that you kind of need to know, I think for good practice to kind of help so that you don't kind of break stuff, is first, test often as much as possible, because you don't want to spend so many hours working on this game that you're almost done, but for some reason you fat fingered it, or you spill some coffee, or your cat or dog just chew some stuff, and you kind of lost certain things. So I go ahead and use GitHub to kind of upload and store my stuff, my things. Now they actually do public or private, so if you want to go ahead and eventually make this game, post it on Steam, but you don't worry about if people are going to steal your stuff and copy your things, don't worry, no need to worry about it. They have a private function as well, so you can make your repository, the repo, private. And what I mean by repository, it's really pretty much a code container to store your code online, right? So they can, in case your computer goes to fritz, you can always come back and download it on another machine, and just continue working from there. But also the great thing is that you can also revert changes to as well. If something, if you didn't like a change, or you can also create another version, a branching off of it, to test out certain mechanics and things that you can use later on or just abandon. It's like, hey, I tested a working copy here, but I'm not gonna add those new features in because it just didn't work out or took too much time, etc. Right? I use Git. I use Git, in web development to check in code. It's a standard practices, and so it's a great way to do code control, right, or source control, as tech folks will say it. And that being said, what? Why don't I go ahead and here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a 2D scene, right? And I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it the main, right? And when you think of main, so Godot has a concept about main scenes, right? Yeah, and the scene, if I wanted to say it simply, is like an object, of what an object really, but it's like for example, like a robot, right? It's a base template of it's a template, right? It's a template for what you're going to be creating, whether it's the character, the enemies, the bosses, or the UI. It's an object that you could create a template to create an object. Excuse me. Whew. And so, I think will probably be easy for folks to kind of understand, is, object-oriented programming. In that itself, it's again, it's a template format process to create objects that you can interact with within your system. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to create a main scene. And when we create the main scene, it's really the way main scene works is that you have it's like the stage of a theater. It's where everything, the background, the lighting, the sound, where the audience sees, right, the stage, so to speak. And by me go ahead and creating this, call it the main scene, right, we're going to put everything together. And I'm starting from this part is because it's kind of like it's your sandbox. It gives you a better, it allows you to try out different things, but at the same time, right, you get to, it's your starting point. In Godot, what they do is that when you run this project, right, let's see, we run this project, take no main scene has been defined, please select one. Yeah, you can select one, you select current. And so, when you first play the game, right, this is the first place you're going to be entering from, right? And so, what we're going to try to do here is, go ahead and try to create this scene for you. And I'm going to say this is main. This is main 2D. First we got to go to projects. Input mapping. Okay. So show built-in actions. UI spacebar, joypad, and Godot tries to do a good job of, control the key, to just get things set up so that you don't have to worry about certain things. But okay, what I wanted to do. Close that. Add a new action. Up. go to the plus sign here, and we can filter by events or listen for input. Click on that and just type in the key for W. Okay, so we got up, down, and then you can also add another one. I wonder if I can add one more. Oh, not left mouse. I think also put this one too. So what we're trying to do is the up key. There's some folks who like it the WASD as for movement, but other folks would like to use the arrow keys to as well. Really. We can provide just also two configurations for them in the game. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead down and left, right, and this one. Okay. Put down, okay. Another one, S, down. Okay. Let's left to be this one, A. Left to be left. Oops, left key. Okay. Right to be right key. So, okay, so we got WASD now, and then obviously we need like some capabilities to shoot, right? I think we should use spacebar. So what else do we need? Import. Okay, click close for now. Okay, alrighty. So now, okay, we got put some key configurations. Go ahead and do a quick save. Usually, it's like this quick save is like Control S. So you can easily add stuff like that. Alright, so currently right now, right, this is the concept of adding a child node. Alright, and so a child node, so we probably will want to add a 2D node, but with 2D games, right, there's sprites, animations, so Godot has this thing called Sprite 2D, right. And I'll focus in on this. So there's a Sprite 2D, and it has some properties to it. What I'm going to do is here's the part where it says need some textures, right? And it says empty. And we can see there's a bunch of different options for textures. So what I'm going to do, I'm kind of curious, what's this placeholder? Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is a plate. So I guess you do a placeholder. 50. Oh, wow. 50 pixels. Interesting. Okay, let's go project settings. Just gotta take a look. Window size. Oh, okay. Now that does not look right. Okay. So one thing I have to tell folks is that with scaling, this is kind of where I had issues working with my last game jam. Is that I was kind of messing around with the scaling aspect of it, and when I say scaling, right? So scaling is like how big things look. And I thought I just got it a perfect shape sizes, but it was kind of coming off as a little bit weird and wonky. And that's because this is the scale of the world, in the game world. What I should be messing is the textures is scaling instead. So, right. So, for me, my 2 cents is like, hey, don't keep your things to be 1-to-1 ratio so that you don't feel like you have this weird sizing issues. I think something that looks like stretched or compressed. Keep it scaled to 1-to-1. Okay, so let's just say we have this texture, right? This sprite texture that's that does it's there, and if you play it here, hey, it's right there. That's great and all, but we gotta add something, do something with it, right? And I'm curious though, if I do the sprite texture, what can we do? Okay, right? Because this one, if I will name it, I'll say, hey, this is the player. We give it a placeholder 2D. Say, hey, it's a 50. Oops. 50. Right? And here you go. We got 2 pink. Okay, sure. Okay, I don't know what was that about, but anyhow, so I was gonna say earlier, you got two pink stuff, right? One is the player and one is the enemy, right? Right. So this is the player and this is the enemy, right? And when you're doing these type of things, you want to keep it simple. So, but this is anybody could just do like this and be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce another aspect called scripting. Right? And scripts are controls, what you do, how you manipulate the objects. They're like the code behind. So when you press the let's say you go Amazon, right? You press the certain button, the buy this button right now, places order, right? Behind it, it executes code to tell it like, oh hey, there's this item that this customer wants to buy. It does the action for you. So that's what the scripts do. Okay, so go ahead and create a script. Editor settings. What's going on? Cannot create chat process. okay. Yeah, feel free to ignore this or that. That's for. So you can also connect. So a quick caveat is that you could also connect this to, whichever independent IDE. It's an independent developer environment. Just correct if I'm wrong about that. But it's like another like interface where you can actually go ahead and code stuff in. But Godot allows you to code it within it already. So here's what we have, right? So the notation is extended to the. So this function calls, it has a little bit notes, calls when here, let me zoom out. Calls when the node enters the scene tree for the first time. Replace. So meaning that, hey, when do all the stuff when it's ready, right? Calls every frame. This one calls every frame, right? So every frame is, so we hear about the 60 FPS. Oh my gosh, I need a better graphics card, blah blah. It's going to call every single frame, and it's going to be very, very fast, right? To kind of demonstrate that, this print is print delta. Print. See all these numbers. It's printing. It's running in the background, and it's running pretty fast. So what are we gonna do, right? Oh, so we got this error. We are actually going to call every frame. Deltas is clips. So what we're gonna do is pass. So for those of you who have worked with Python or any object-oriented programming, you may you find this to be more easier, especially with Python folks. But for Godot has also a C# implementation too as well, so you can also use that and look it up. But for those of you who have not worked on this coding stuff before, and it's okay. Take it step by step, and we are going to, I think we recommend you to kind of also learn about some coding stuff as well. Just look at tutorials and get a better idea of what's kind of really how do you code, right? How do you do these things? Because I'll say this up front, AI is not going to do this for you. We're not even there yet. Maybe one day it can, but for what you wanted to do from an artistical perspective, it's not going to get there anytime soon, right? So okay, so what do we have here now? Okay, so supposedly we want our characters to be moving left, right, our sprites to move around, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try to find some quick template to move my characters around in the space. The reason why I'm going to do that and find it is because this stuff has been done multiple times, many times, and it's kind of, at least for me, a bit elementary at this point. So let's take a look. Oops. Take a look. Godot player movement to the so Godot has also great documentation as well. Oh, here we go. extend character body to ED. Oh. Move and slide. Oh, so we gotta extend the character body to D. Ah, okay. So yep, I was wrong. We don't, you're not supposed to have this, but instead we're supposed to create character body 2D. And then what else is complaining about? No shape collision. Okay. Add the script to the character body 2D. Okay. Go first. First off, player 2D. Oh, guess what? They created it for us. Awesome. Awesome possum. Okay. So, I guess we're going to do, we need to add character body collision. This one has no shape. Yes. Go and add. Go and add a child. Collision shape. And let's look at this. So let's see, transform, textures, collision. Okay. Let's go add a shape to it. And let's go add a rectangle shape around it. Alright. But I think we still missing something, right? And I think, if I'm doing this correctly, we need to add some sort of sprite in here. So me deleting that earlier was not correct. So I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to add placeholder, texture. Let's change the size to 50. Let's make sure. Oh, so collision shape. Size by 20. 50. Alright. Here we go. Now. So, let's look at the script. Okay, let's see here. Extends character body 2D, jump velocity, jump speed velocity. It's not on the floor. Add the gravity component. Gotcha. So if I play this, what happens? Oh. Ah, okay. I see. So, in our game, right? Because the way we control our players, there's no gravity, right? It's not a platformer. So this script is kind of incorrect, not custom tailored for us, per se. So, we're going to remove, comment this out, double check. How the way I comment this out is control / mark. It's next to the shift key. And I can't seem to be controlling it. Oh. Okay, looks like I can control it. Just going left. But only with the keyboard. but not WASD. Okay. Alright. So what we're gonna do? Okay, we're gonna go ahead, clean code, and get the axis input from UI left, UI right. That's not right. So let's go ahead here and go back to our input. Should be getting from up, down, left, right. But if you look over here, it shows that they already have built-in sum already, right? The built-in sum. But we're not gonna we're not gonna go with that. We're gonna go with ours. So move this. Also up, down, left, and right. I'm gonna go ahead and change this to be up, up, up. Left. So let's see here. Let's go and run this. Oh. Too many arguments for getting axes. So we only got left and right. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and stop that. Alright, we got. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. D doesn't move. D, huh? Let's go back to here. The right, so we gotta fix this. Okay, close. Let's test this stuff again. Okay, so we got left and right movement. That's good. That's good. Now, so I think we're going to call this underscore x axis. Let's see. And then maybe we should be getting. So let's see. So we're getting the x-axis, but we should also be getting the y as well, right? Because in our space gun game, we need to get the y. curious about what does this mean? Okay. Take a look at this test. Okay. Let's go take a look at their documentation. Input. Okay. So let's see right here. That's 100 controllers. Windows access. Okay, great, cool. Your controller, but all having to write separate code path. Project settings. Oh, okay. So here we get two axes. Both axes behave in a single input. Interesting. One. So when we make movements, right, we want to move around the x-axis, right? X-axis, right, moving this way, right, and the y-axis, right, up and down. And since we're space shooter games, that we want to have that movement, right, control movement, so we're going to need input from that. So from the looks of this seems to be kind of the thing that they have done for us. Comment this section of the code out, and I just want to see what kind of response we're getting. So, okay. Oh, still got issues. What issues do we getting? Process move back does not work. Okay. Left. Okay. So we got some input earlier that is going to be moving accordingly. So we're going to do this. And if velocity. I think we're also going to do Y as well. Let's go try this out. 0. Let's see what's going on. Okay. So if I just do this direction. There we go. Oh shit. Move and slide. Okay. So, I think we really got this. So, a couple of things that we got was and now look at it. We actually got a control. So, currently right now is that we got a WSASD movement. We first initially hashed out a plan, got now a WASD movement here, right? And now it's moving within the space. Oh, but oops, looks like we moved too outside of the zone. So yeah, so we're making good progress right now. In a short time, we're actually able to go ahead and make player movements. The sprite that we currently have can now move left, right, up, and down within the space. The problem right now is that it's going to move off the screen. So we kind of want it to be bounded within the screen. So what can we do? Oh, and let's see here. Show velocity. I don't need this anymore. Okay. And we could probably pick it up. We're not gonna do that. So you want me to look at the docs? How to get probably get viewport. Let's take a look at the dock. My camera. Okay, here's the node. thinking child 2D. I kind of do just want to get the window. So I know what the velocity more the direction actually. So okay. And then we're gonna save our window. And by doing this, we are going to see what's going on. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Okay. Let's get viewport. Okay, so let's take a look. Get viewport rectangle. Okay, so we see this number. What does that mean? I think that probably means that is the viewport of the game, right? But let's look at the more documentation. Or maybe, you know what, faster. How to get the window size of your game. Godot. Script. Wow. Let's see what we have here. So let's see if we get this pair. Window 4. Somebody answered this. Alright. As you can see, you could probably get a lot of information, you know, from just really Googling and searching. And this is what we do from a developer perspective, right? Especially since I don't know stuff, but I can leverage, like, okay, I could probably find out about more information on these things. So let's go ahead and give it a try. There we go. Get that size, right? So we probably want to do something. Oh, so what I'm trying to solve right now is, hey, I don't want my player sprite to move off the screen. It doesn't make sense, right? You usually kind of bound it to the screen. So what I'm going to do is let's take probably. So, okay. So, one thing I kind of figured out is that I need to be able to, I need to get the sprite's position, right? Position. And I need to make sure that it doesn't go off the screen. So, what we'll do is get position, not at delta. It's not velocity. I mean, get global transform. So position of X and Y. Look at mouse position. I just want to get play better. So we kind of save the time. Get character body to the position. It'd be funny if it's actually this is all you need to do. I think it's super complicated. Oh, yep. Wow. Okay. So man, changing the audio for the audio is a pain in the butt. Okay, so now we should be able to if zero. I think this is going to probably cause a little bit of a problem. So let's see. I think what's going to happen is that once they get to this part, it's going to get stuck. Okay, yeah, LFT shouldn't be working. So we do this. Yep, it got stuck. Okay. So we almost got it, but I think what I'm going to do probably going to do this. I don't want it to get stuck, but at the same time, I don't want it. Good. You know what? This might be a bad idea. So this should move a little bit more further back and be like, you know, try to hide out in here. Okay, and so that way we can literally make the game much more difficult. So let's do that. Okay, I know this is probably get this out. So it is greater than or equal to so many if conditions, but that's okay. Because so x at x, y at y, position is equal to Windows. So what we effectively have done, bounded it. Right? So we go through here, test it. Oh, hey, oop. Can't go in. Boom, boom, boom. Going down. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. And now we essentially bounded the player. Right? Alright. And look at it. Look at the time. Well, I think that probably for right now, we're gonna go ahead and stop here. Just recapping today, what do we have done, right? We have actually successfully moved the characters around. We have also successfully came up with brainstorming an idea a little bit earlier, you know, coming up with it, hey, what kind of games that we want to make, where you're gonna do it, you know, just kind of some planning. We actually kick off the planning aspect. We also, at this point, kind of come up with some general things that the must-have things to creating any kind of game. And you know, we implemented player moving, and so as you probably can see, we're off to a pretty nice start, right? Though you know, it's basic, it's elementary. You know, this is kind of the things that you, as the person who's kind of sitting on the sideline, or just, hey, you know, how are you going to start? How are you going to do things? You can, it's by doing that enables you to build confidence in your abilities to, to create something that what you wanted to do things that you wanted to do. Thank you for watching the Late Night Game Dev channel. If you like this, like the stream, like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please also subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon so that you will get the latest news developments from me. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.